Welcome to another edition of the Sports War. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Report. And once again, it is the Barnes and Tony Show. Michael in the vicinity.
Oh, yeah.
How are you, sir, on this Monday?
Oh, beautiful Monday. Great day. Nice rest during the weekend. Watched some sports, caught up on some work. Did the Valentine's Day weekend as well, Brian. And now I'm excited to be back here Monday. Happy President's Day, bud.
And I feel like we have to get into this because you kind of told me quickly. Our fans, they always appreciate our insight when it comes to food.
Oh, yeah.
What was the deal? You were saying a little trouble with the restaurant on, what was it, Saturday?
Yes, this was Saturday night, dude. So, listen, honestly, so we went to the place in West Hartford called the Arugula's.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently been there forever. They were saying, real hometown feel. You went in there, there was patrons there that seem like they go there like every weekend because they're on a first name basis. And it's like, ooh, like I'll have the usual, sort of deal. So I had high hopes,
Right.
Appetizer got this like eggplant Napoleon, it was called.
Good.
Honestly, it was delicious.
Right.
I love eggplant, dude. Thinly sliced, and it was like layered with like this like crispy
sauce.
Wonton cheese. No, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't
Wonton
like
cheese.
Yeah, no, wonton, and then like cheese. On top
okay.
Of it.
Yeah.
It was like I kind of thought it'd be an Italian restaurant, but it wasn't exactly Italian. But they had flatbreads. It was more like Mediterranean style because there was like hummus involved in a lot of dishes. But anyway, and we also got these chicken skewers. And now, I was there with Anna, and she says that one of the pieces of chicken that she got was raw. And not necessarily raw, but undercooked, obviously.
And what dish was it?
It was literally like it was chicken skewers in this really delicious like peanut sauce.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, first of all, I mean, yeah, it's like chicken. So obviously, you want to not screw it up, but it's also like chicken skewers too. You would imagine that it's just like chicken, on the skewer, and then you're grilling it. Like, how do you kind of mess that up? But I mean, I don't know. My chicken was fine, so
yeah,
that's good. And then our entrees are delicious. I ordered a burger, and then Anna got like this. It's called Branzino. Delicious, like crispy, like fillet of fish, a fillet of fish with like rice and beans, and it was amazing. And we did half and half on each, so we shared those two dishes. Delicious stuff. But then yeah, obviously the chicken. I mean, you can imagine, really turned her off.
How was she even able to eat her dinner after that?
It's funny because like she didn't say anything until after we left.
Oh, okay. Maybe she didn't want to ruin your
she
meal.
Didn't want, yeah, and also she was saying how like it was obviously table for two, so it was the restaurant. I don't know what they think about in Hartford, but I guess they kind of feel like it's like Brooklyn because the rest. I felt like I was in Manhattan or something because like we were jam packed. It was a real tight restaurant. So like she didn't want to make a big deal out of it because then like all the tables next to us would have obviously have seen and heard. So I don't know, dude. They also like I think they were having a tough time that night because like at one point the chef came out and we were like right in front of the host and she was like yelling at him over something. And the guy next to us like got the entirely wrong dish she ordered like for dinner. So I think maybe they're just having a rough night in general.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Brian. I mean, the food was very fresh for the most part. Like the eggplant, like all like the lettuce or the vegetables and stuff like that. Like the produce, very good. But I think they like cook every dish with a certain spice because everything kind of tasted the same.
Interesting. Okay.
So
could have mixed it up a little bit.
Yeah, dude. I mean, hey, man. I mean, it was an experience. I would say like it's fresh. I love going out to dinner. I still would I try it again? Maybe. I mean, there's other things on the menu that caught my eye. The burger was delicious. It was a delicious burger, prime meat, bacon jam. Very good. But I don't know, dude. For those West Hartford prices.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. That's for sure. And we just have high expectations at the end of the day with food.
Dude, of course, yeah. Always hypercritical. And this place came like in high regard, was recommended to us. So obviously, we're expecting like a great time.
Well, and I don't want to throw them under the bus, but we were talking about no, but I'm just saying, I was talking with Tony, and like I said, I'm not going to say the name here on air, but a place that I would get all the time, got a salad from there over the weekend, and Sam found a bug in it. And it's just like, it's one piece of lettuce,
right.
It's a little ant, whatever, but it's like obviously the point. And it's hard to look at the place the same, but I think, you give it some time, give them one more chance. But if there's anything
that happens again, see, that's kind of what's good though. Obviously, you've been there before, so you kind of give them a little bit of benefit of the doubt. This is my first time trying this restaurant. Like, obviously, I'm gonna be a little hesitant to go back there. It was a Mecha down the road, Brian. I'll be going there next time.
It's tough. It's tough when that happens for sure.
Yeah.
But so much to get into today, and what a weekend of golf we had, Tony. My favorite topic here, Genesis Invitational, and what a duel down the stretch. Jon Rahm winning the Genesis Invitational, 2 shots clear of Max Homa. And this was so exciting, so back and forth. Homa was your day one leader, with Keith Mitchell. Rahm in the mix, battling, overtook Max with a 65, on Saturday, was the leader going into yesterday, and had a 3-shot lead. Homa closed in within 2 shots, but couldn't get over the top there to outduel Rahm. But it was quite the weekend of them going back and forth. Patrick Cantley finished 3 shots back, 14 under par. Will Zalatoris 13 under par in 4th, and Keith Mitchell 12 under par, finishing in 5th. But once again, obviously we had the Waste Management the week before. These elevated events, having all the top players out on this course, really just made it so much fun. And then when you add the fact that Tiger Woods made his first PGA Tour start since 2020, just makes the cut on the number. And it was a 4 rounds. So obviously I think that was the important thing for Tiger, just to walk 72 holes and finish the tournament and have 2 rounds that were under par. You look at it, he was 2 under on Thursday, and he was 4 under on Saturday, which was obviously his best round. But in between those 2 rounds, 74 on Friday and 73 yesterday. So, obviously some ups, some downs, but I think the key also was we saw some vintage Tiger shots, some vintage Tiger putts. He hit a couple 20-foot putts. Nice. He had an eagle on number 1. I believe that was on Saturday. And I mean, just overall a tremendous body of work. And, obviously you saw him grimacing a little bit, but the fact too, with the driver, what he was doing, consistently out driving Justin Thomas and Rory McIlroy. And they were even talking about it on PGA Tour Radio, how Rory switched his driver. He was so frustrated that Tiger kept hitting it past him. And then the whole tampon situation with JT and, just all of that was blown up too. But, obviously, Tiger apologized, even though, I mean, come on, it was just a joke. But obviously people took it as way more than that. But once, at least Tiger, once he apologized, I think it's like, you know what I mean? You have to say, because the world we live in, it's almost surprising that he's almost not hearing it more, because he heard it about this, but I don't know if it's just because the instant apology, and then it's like, I mean, what else do you want him to do?
I mean, I heard that some people were pretty upset about his apology, because it was like, oh, if I offended anyone, like what? First of all, dude, I mean, not for nothing, like it was Justin Thomas, right? He gave the tampon to. I mean, it was a joke between the 2 of them,
and it's literally like, his best friend.
And it's like, if Justin Thomas came out and was like, wow, that was totally inappropriate, I don't like that at all, then I could see people like, Tiger, what are you doing? But it was clearly a joke between the 2 of them, and it's totally fine. So it's like, what the hell is the problem? Like, Justin Thomas doesn't care, obviously. They're laughing about it, like having a great time, whatever. I don't know, dude. I really don't see the big deal.
Mm-hmm.
I obviously understand what it implies. I understand, obviously, Tiger Woods is, under probably the closest microscope you could probably get in terms of professional athletes, especially now. And I could maybe even see the argument about how, like, kids are watching, I'm sure. And I guarantee you there's going to be some like high school kid that's going to have tampons in his fucking golf bag, probably. I could see that. Maybe. But it's like, just leave him alone a little bit, dude. I mean, the guy's been through enough. All right. He's heard it. He apologized even too right after this. Like, what do you want, dude? Like,
and you know what my problem is? We are so selective with what we get outraged about. I think that's the biggest problem. Just in terms of like, think about, Tony, what goes on at, all across the country in these stand-up comedy clubs. You're telling me that they don't say or do things that are more offensive than that? But that's okay, because that's their profession. It's like, just stop. Just stop looking for things to be outraged for that you deep down you're not outraged for, but you just want something to be outraged for. It's like, that's the problem. That is the problem at the end of the day. But I am glad that it seems like, all things to considered, this is kind of going to go to the wayside, and next time he tees it up, I don't even think this will be in the conversation.
Yeah, it's fine.
A couple other things I want to get to from the term, but before we do that, some comments, sir.
Yeah, Jay Bird probably grimacing right now, clenching his jaw. Tiger finished top 40. Dude's definitely on a comeback. ... I think that's sarcasm, though.
Yeah, but that's fine. But you know what? I mean, I know, Jay didn't watch, the hundreds of swings that I watched from Tiger over the weekend, and it's not all about where he finished. It's the fact that he did finish, the fact that he had a 4-under round, the fact that he showed he still has elite skills, with chipping, with putting, with driving, and it's just about consistency. And avoiding those blow up holes, like it is for any golfer, like it is for me and for you. But this was just about getting reps, and of course, it would have been nice to win or finish higher. But this is about to get tuned up for the Masters, and there are some murmurs because we got a couple tournaments in between. So there's 2 tournaments before the Players Championship from TPC Sawgrass. The island hole on 17 there. And there's a lot of talk, Tiger's a 2-time Players champion over there, that he may do that event, as kind of a warm up for the Masters in April. I would love to see it, flat golf course, the fact that he's won there before. So we'll have to see kind of how his body responds the next couple of weeks, but that's something that everyone was talking about. And also the nifty NFT company.
They say, what up, fam? Hope everyone had a great weekend.
Right back at you.
Wow, nice,
right?
Dude. Yeah, that's good. Good response. And I'm sure if Jay was here, by the way, he would probably tell you it doesn't matter where he finished.
No, it's you know what? It's one of those things. It reminds me, and I know this seems, Tony, like I'm like poking fun at you, but it's like,
oh.
But it's like, it just reminds me when you're arguing with me about something, and I just know deep down that like you're just saying it, and it's like, that's how I feel.
Jay's just saying it.
Yes, I do.
Wow.
Because he's not, like I said, he's not watching, Tony. If he actually watched the tournament, he would not have the same opinion that he does now. It's like he's just looking from afar, checking the box score. He's not, watching him play the round. Wait, I don't under. What? Okay, I don't think we. All right.
Oh, you don't want to see it? Oh, my bad.
I mean, enough. I mean, I'm giving fair analysis, Jay. The guy's had a long layoff. He's dealing with a lot, and the fact too that he had 2 really good days in this tournament when he never even makes starts at tournaments, plays in tournaments. I think you have to be happy with it. But that's all we're gonna say there, because otherwise it might get a little carried away. But actually, though,
let's continue this conversation on Friday, dude.
Let's continue on Friday. But also, though, Tony, I mean, what were your thoughts on how it went
in terms of Tiger?
Yeah.
I mean, I was placing him a little bit higher.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you think of that hot start he was off to. I would have expected his level of play to really like progress consistently and getting better each day, which I feel like he kind of got into some trouble, but then he had some good shots. He kind of flatlined a little bit though. But I think what's probably most important, honestly, to take away from this, not only having those good shots, having a good drive, seeing some bright spots in his play, but it also did seem like he was just having a good time out there, which is great. I mean, I understand. I mean, the man probably is in some discomfort playing,
right?
And for him to still have joy playing, competing, I think that does kind of show that we're going to still see Tiger around for a while. And that the fact that he does have that joy, I mean, I do think he's going to improve, and I think he's going to, surprise some people and turn some heads in one of these, big opens that he's playing, and he's going to finish really high, possibly grab the win somewhere. And everyone's going to really know and be like, all right, like, like he's one of the greats.
And then in a few weeks, I think it's the first week in March. Yeah, or no, the second week of March actually. But anyway, I really hope he plays the Players because I just think the whole thing with Tiger is repetition. And obviously, he showed some rust with the occasional blow up holes that he had. So I think the more reps, the more vintage Tiger you're going to see, and the better chance he has to win. And, every time we go into major championship season, we do feel like the Masters, obviously that's the major that he's won the most, is his best shot to win. And obviously he won it the most recent. So I just think getting some reps at Sawgrass, and then maybe this time, sneaking his way into the top 20, dare we say even top 10, will get him feeling more confident and just more comfortable. So we'll have to see in the next couple of weeks. Body responds well, and then I would expect if that is the case, you will see him at TPC Sawgrass there in Punta Verde, Florida. But most of this tournament talk, we've been talking about Tiger. But what about the run, Tony, that Jon Rahm is on every week? And I know, we're talking golf. Sometimes you're zoning in, zoning out. But doesn't it seem like every week I'm telling you that Jon Rahm won the tournament? No?
Yeah, it does. I would say every week.
So in the last 5
minutes. I'm not tuning out. I'm not zoning out,
I'm
Brian.
messing with you. But
no, you're not.
So since January 8th, today's what, the 20th? So we'll say roughly 6 weeks ago, Tony, he's won 3 tournaments. And since the official start of this PGA Tour season on October 23rd, he's made $9.8 million, which is just absolutely unbelievable. His lowest finish is tied for 8th. And his last 8 rounds have been under 70. This is like Tiger dominance level. Obviously, this is over a short period of time. And, we'll see what he does in Bay Hill in a couple weeks. At Arnie's course, but I mean, this is unbelievable. He seizes number 1 on the world rankings again. And you just have to feel, for a guy who, has only 1 major championship on his resume, that he's due to add to that this year, and possibly, dare I say, add a couple to his resume. He did win that U.S. Open at Torrey Pines in 2021. But I just really do have a feeling that we could be looking at him maybe winning, the U.S. Open, which is at LA Country Club, as well as, maybe, contend at the Masters. Really any of these big tournaments. It's like, how do you not like Rahm? The consistency, it is unbelievable. So I do think at the minimum, 1 major championship for Rahm this season, if not 2, which, we haven't had somebody win 2 in quite some time. Another guy, though, that, we didn't really talk about too much here, Max Homa, finishing second, had the tournament lead after day 1, 15 under par. He's been on a run as well. And it's just kind of interesting with him. He's a guy, you almost feel like he's a late bloomer in a sense. I want to check. I know Rahm is 28. Homa, I want to say, is like, I'm going to just double check this, but I think he's like 31, 32. He is 32. So, and he hasn't won a major yet, but really, the last year and a half has been on a run. So that's another guy that I wouldn't be surprised if he wins a major this year as well. So, with all of this being said, and the live defections that we've had over the past year and a half, I mean, I think the game is in a very good state. Colin Morikawa had a strong tournament. A bad day kind of put him down the leaderboard a little bit, but he, finished pretty strongly as well, tied for 6th. So he's another guy. You think about Zalatoris, Patrick Cantley is always in the mix. Heath Thigala as well. And obviously Scotty Scheffler, who, just went down to world number 2 now. But there's so many stars out there. And then the fact that Tiger is lurking, Tony, I just think that golf couldn't be in a better spot. Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth. I mean, don't you feel like the talent level, kind of the median talent level, is just so high? While we might not have one guy, and maybe Rahm will be that guy that's dominating because he is doing that right now, we don't have one guy up above everyone else, but we have so many really good golfers, and it makes these elevated events, these majors, really exciting.
Yeah, and I think obviously someone who watches day to day or tournament to tournament, whatever, knows that. But I think it also, I think it entices any viewer, like the usual, like the layman, to kind of tune in. And honestly, in reality, I know I don't watch a ton of golf, not as much as I would like to, but I mean, in reality, it is super entertaining, and to have that kind of pool of competitiveness, well, I think it makes a lot of fun, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. And just any sport, when you have a team or a player that's dominant and doing historic things, that's always must watch. I mean, you always want to see what exactly is going to happen. So I'm really excited about it. It is a shame because we're coming off a bunch of good weeks in a row here. When you think back to the Pebble Beach Pro-Am, then we had TPC Scottsdale, the Waste Management. Then we had this tournament, obviously the Genesis at Riviera. But this coming week, unfortunately, sandwiched in between another elevated event, which is the Arnold Palmer Invitational from Bay Hill in Orlando. That's going to be beginning 1 week from Thursday, is the Honda Classic from PGA National. So Palm Beach, Florida, nice area, nice course. Jack Nicklaus won there a couple times. But the fact that it's not an elevated event, so we were just playing for $20 million. This week, it's going to be $8.4 million. So that takes a little juice out of it. The fact that you have, the Arnold Palmer Invitational coming up, and then the Players following that, it's just a natural bye week for guys. And Honda has been the tournament sponsor for almost 40 years here. And they announced right after the tournament they're pulling out just because the fact of where the PGA put them on the calendar.
Wow.
But it's just one of those things, other than maybe trying out an event for the first time. I mean, the event has to be played somewhere, and it's like, so you take them out of this spot, you put another event there. I mean, somebody has to do it. So I think the only thing, and they're going to have a different sponsor. And I think this is a nice golf course. It's been redesigned by Jack, within the last 5 years. Is maybe move it to a different part of the calendar and then try a new event here. But either way, you're just going to see that when you're playing for less than half the money than you are in these elevated events. So we'll take a look at this.
By my bad. So Downtime TV just tagged me in a reel, dude.
Oh boy,
I feel very special.
And then so we'll preview this tomorrow. But it is amazing. Like, the best player playing in this event is like Sanjay Im. So it does give those middling guys kind of a chance, or the upper middle class guys to win. Right. So I think that is a good thing. So the golfer that really enjoys the bones of the PGA Tour, Tony, right, it's good watch TV for them. But for the casual fan, you're looking for Rahm, you're looking for Rory, you're looking for JT. So that's why I'm sure the ratings, unfortunately, for this one won't kinda be low, as high.
Do you think like it takes anything away, like the person who wins it? Is it kind of like, oh,
well, last year's winner, and I would imagine it's either going to be the same or more, Sepp Straka, Tony, made $1.44 million. I don't think he was caring about how illustrious, of a victory it was.
Okay.
I mean? Money talks, no?
No, yeah, I think you're right.
So, a lot of good golf coming up. I'm very excited for myself. And like I said, we'll talk about the Honda Classic tomorrow. But for now, Tony, let's go to the world of the National Hockey League.
Here's Matthews. Scores! Hat-trick goal!
My goodness, this is a great shot.
Big hit on the far side by the car. He flattens Jordan Staal. Oh, my goodness.
Gets the gun right back. Terrifying and robbed by Shesterkin. That's brilliant from Igor Shesterkin.
It's a breakaway to win it in overtime. McDavid scores! The winner in overtime!
All right, Tony. So a busy weekend in the world of the National Hockey League. The Rangers with 2 games over the weekend. And as we used to say back in the day, splitting the sixes with a victory on Friday night in Edmonton before falling in overtime to Calgary. But what a game in Edmonton on Friday night. The
Oh.
Rangers down 4-1, facing the jaws of defeat, coming back in that one. I mean, that really shows the grit, the determination of this team, winning in a shootout 5-4. And like I said, letting up 4 goals in the first. The only goal you had was a Chris Kreider power play goal, which was his 23rd. But the horn sounds, you're down 4-1. Kreider gets his second goal of the game in the second, made it 4-2. But 2-goal deficit going to the third. Playing against a offensively strong team like Edmonton, you don't feel great about that. But Lafreniere coming back from the dead with his 9th. And Mika Zibanejad, who else? His 30th goal of the year on a power play, tying it up at 4, which would force overtime. But Mika, it's unbelievable the scoring surge he's been on. Really just has climbed up the ladder here. And I would imagine, he has a pretty good shot to set a career high in goals, in a season. So we'll see if this continues. But in terms of the shootout too, went so many different legs here. I'm just counting this up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh yeah. So each team, so six legs. Kako and Nugent Hopkins got the first 2. Then we had all the goals in between. No one scores. And then who else but Lafreniere, building on that 9th goal of the year, with the game winner in the shootout, 5-4. But that was a playoff type game, and you're facing a team like Edmonton, who knows? I know they're still a little ways away from where they want to be, but who knows? You could face them in the Stanley Cup final. So, going up against them, making that comeback, it was a pretty impressive win in Edmonton, Tony, no?
Yeah, dude. Excuse me. You really look at kind of, I guess, like who kind of really sparked this. You mentioned giving up 4 goals in the first period. Obviously not what you want, so, you look to some leadership, you look to some veterans, and, you mentioned Chris Kreider in that power play goal, giving the Rangers some life. And I think, I forget who it was in the postgame interview. It might have been Trouba. But he was talking about how in between the first and second period, that first intermission, Gallant comes in the locker room like pretty serious, and he says, he looks at the guys and he goes, "We're not losing this game." So you got to love that in terms of leadership, in terms of coaching. I think to hear that from Gerard Gallant or about Gerard Gallant, I think it's pretty huge for him to kind of, try and bring this group of Rangers. I would imagine, they're frazzled. 4 goals against Edmonton, like you were saying. No easy feat against any team, not to mention a team that is known to score. So, for him to come up and to try and settle these guys down, and then again, that veteran mentality being a theme here, you get a shorthanded goal by Chris Kreider, doing what he does best. I think Lafreniere was the main assist on that goal as well. You have a good penalty killing unit, able to kind of turn some defense to offense. Kreider has that explosive speed. And then again, like third period, your youth cleans it up with that goal from Lafreniere. He did end up having, like you said too, the game-winning shootout goal. It was a really tough game. The Rangers showed a lot of grit, a lot of focus, a lot of determination. Like you said, playoff atmosphere. It could be a team that, who knows, you may see them in a cup final. And to know that you were able to kind of bounce back against them on the road as well at Edmonton, I think just shows what type of, championship team the Rangers could be. And, at the time, they're on a 6-game winning streak. They were striving for the 7th. They get their 7th game win streak there. That's absolutely huge for them as a hockey club. It's great, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. Michael knows it best. I feel like he hasn't said it to me, but I just know deep down that he's so impressed with what the Rangers are doing this year that he's considering just letting that Devils thing go, because come on, Marty's not coming back anytime soon. And I know Jack Hughes is only 21 and there's a lot to build on. However, Tony,
wow.
Maybe Jack Hughes is better than anybody on the Rangers, but as a whole, collectively, collectively as a whole, I think the collection of talent far exceeds the collection of talent on the Devils. Do you agree with that, Tony?
Collectively as a whole, yes, I do. Obviously, how can you not agree with that, Michael?
Because who would you put heads up with Hughes? It's tough. Just being fair,
Come on.
Because we have a lot of really good guys. Like Zibanejad's really good. Panarin's really good. Just to name a couple guys. But I just think, at that age, the goal scoring ability, he probably is better than anybody the Rangers
I don't
have.
think so, dude. I would put Artemi Panarin easily, dude. And you know what? If it came down to a one-on-one situation and I had to choose a defender, Jacob Trouba, shutting him down, Michael, with the hip check, old school style, head over heels. Yes.
Seems like some Tiger talk.
Oh, what the fuck, Brian? Are you a Devils fan? What's going on,
no,
dude?
But Tony,
go root for Edmonton. Honestly, go move to Alberta, dude.
Tony, I think you could even acknowledge, like,
I can't believe Renee almost ate this whole thing.
That Jack Hughes is a guy that most likely in the future, I mean, he's only 21 years old now, will probably win at least one MVP. And I think the Rangers have a bunch of really, really good guys, but I don't think anybody's an MVP.
That's ridiculous.
Who would it be? Panarin. Panarin's
probably Zibanejad, honestly, dude.
No, Zibanejad's having a ridiculous year, Tony. Nobody's,
That sounds like you don't even like him.
Dude, Zibanejad is the man. Yeah. Come on, there's a difference between the two things, and you're making it.
No, I know. I am.
You get what I'm saying.
No, I understand what you're saying.
This is exactly what I was talking about.
I'm just messing with you. Really,
oh, right.
Yeah, you want to have fun with me, dude? Dude, Zibanejad is the man.
That's all it is. But overall, you really love to see that type of determination from the Rangers, that comeback, all of that. And it's just so tough because you go into a back-to-back situation and you had Jaroslav Halak going for 7 straight victories. And it was so tough because you fell behind early 2-0. You're thinking, back-to-back, you're part of a road trip, going home after the game. This might not be our time, but the fact too, after a dud first period, you get a Tarasenko goal, his second as a Ranger. It made it 2-1. So you felt like, all right, we're in this game. Laffy with his 10th in the third to tie it up at 2. But unfortunately, you only get 90 seconds in overtime, or I guess 88 seconds before Backlund with the game winner for Calgary. So they take it 3-2. And I know the whole thing, you get a point. I understand it, Tony. But it still is just disappointing. It snapped a 7-game losing streak. And I know on to the next one, but it just felt like you could have had it. That's all.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in the overtime, I just think, it was one of those games where, I don't know, Rangers on the back-to-back, I mean, I think they looked a little tired, dude. 20 shots on goal, I think, was very unlike them in this, that 7-game win streak they had. I don't know, dude. I think it was the back-to-back. They were tired. They've been traveling too. I wouldn't necessarily blame this on Halak necessarily. The Rangers didn't have enough offense,
Right.
Halak's, I think, still had 32 saves.
Yeah, no, and I don't think it's about the general body of work from the game on Saturday, but just the fact in overtime when you need him most, you know what I mean?
I know. But again,
you just got to find a way to stop him at the end of the day.
I know, but overtime too, the 3-on-3, the space, the time, you have to skate so much. And the Rangers just did that the night before against Edmonton, the big comeback. I think they kind of, they were a little bit, I think, gassed, dude. It's all right, dude. It's fine. Doesn't matter. Calgary sucks,
it
dude.
doesn't matter. You win the game tonight, against Ottawa, a distant memory. And it's nice that you got the point.
Yeah.
I think that's very big. And one thing, Tony, that I feel like me and you didn't talk about, and I honestly almost completely forgot, and then it just kind of came to my mind, the reacquisition of Tyler, is it Mott?
Yes.
What were your thoughts there?
Honestly, I mean, it's okay.
Really?
In my opinion, I don't know. We obviously got him last year from Winnipeg, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I mean, again, you think of the players you acquired at the trade deadline last year. Tyler Mott came in with a little bit of a splash, but fizzed out. Frank Vatrano was really the one who probably gave you the most bang for your buck. Throughout the playoffs, everything like that. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. We'll see if he can play consistently. That's what I'm just worried about. He has that talent. He has the ability to score, to be a playmaker on the ice, but he just didn't do that consistently, I feel, when he's on the Rangers. That's why I wasn't so sad to see him go.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I think it may be good for him because he knows the players. He knows the Rangers strategy. Maybe he can build up some more chemistry and play better. But I don't know. I think jury's still out on that one. Why? What do you think? You excited?
Well, I just feel like, Tony, it's a no risk trade. I mean, you give up a 7th rounder
Yeah.
in how do you say it? Gauthier or
Gautier.
Gautier? I mean, he wasn't doing anything, right?
He wasn't great, no.
So I just feel like, this guy is just depth. He's 27 years old, so you like that. And he played here last year. He was part of a team that went far. So I don't think there's really too much downside into it. It's not like you lost a lot in order to acquire him.
I mean, it kind of really depends. If Gautier ends up panning out to be a good player.
When was Gautier what did he ever do?
I mean, you saw again bright spots. If you're kind of watching him on the ice, every game, you see how he has good shifts. He was a physical player. He was youthful as well. So he was someone you could see maybe being a decent, third liner or something like that. But again, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot looking at him. But again, you're still taking that risk. I mean, if Tyler Mott plays out to be nothing, Gautier does. I mean, it's a risk just like in any trade. But like I said, I think time will tell with Mott. So I guess we'll see.
But when
I don't even know. Do you have his numbers in front of you for this year?
Gauthier?
No, Mott.
Well, I have Gauthier's, and I was going to say,
what do you got, Gautier?
When you're a right winger and you play 40 games and you have 6 goals and 3 assists, I don't care if you're playing on the 10th line. You have no value to me.
6 goals and 3 assists in how many games?
40 games.
Tyler Mott here. 30.
Give me face-off percentage, Tony. Do we have that?
Oh, this is last 5 games. Sorry. Face-off win percentage, just a tick under 40% here.
So not terrible.
Yes. I don't know, dude.
Oh man, but I think the biggest thing for me, depth piece, and the fact that he was on the team last year. I like that part of it.
We'll see. He was on Toronto. No, Ottawa. Ottawa.
Yeah.
Interesting.
What do you think about what Jay said, that I was too busy to watch the Rangers because of Tiger?
Because of Tiger? Were you?
I mean, we got multiple TVs, Jay. I mean, you can watch both.
Yeah, but
plus,
no.
The golf was on way earlier than the
Well,
Rangers.
I was going to say they were at different times. Yeah, but it
Yeah.
doesn't matter how many TVs because you're only watching one at a time, Brian.
No.
Yeah.
No. I'm very good at the multitasking. And,
Are you?
oh yeah, dude.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Brian. So and then also Tony, but with this 7-game winning streak, with picking, that just ended obviously, but picking up that point in Calgary, the Rangers have worked their way up the Eastern Conference standings and actually are ahead of the Tampa Bay Lightning right now.
Love it, dude.
And are
by
in
2 points, dude.
Yes, and
they're
are in 5th place. They were down to 7th at one point. They're 1 point behind Toronto and 4 points behind New Jersey. So definitely in that conversation. I mean, it's not even crazy to think Carolina 7 points is completely out of reach. If they're gonna really have a strong finish here, you really don't know what'll happen. But I like them in that, the 5th, 4th seed. It would be nice to get home ice in the first round though. So I would like to see at least 4th because whoever you're playing is going to be tough. And I mean, it's conceivable to say that you could really see a series with any of the teams that are in that area going the distance in the first round, no?
Oh, yeah, dude.
So I want home ice.
Yeah.
By the way, I've been tracking the ticket situation, Tony. Are you kidding?
Bad?
Dude, I mean, I'll look at it right now. Well, the thing is, it's not terrible if you're getting 2 tickets, but to get 5 tickets, to get
It's like $1,000.
No, but so 2 tickets right now, lowest for 200 section, $233. But if you get 5 tickets, the lowest is $321 for the 200 section. It's like, really?
Buffalo trip, dude.
Well, no, but what was it? I have it right on here, but there's a game against, it was like by far the lowest. What, Senators at Rangers on next Thursday, $92. It's or the Rangers on the 20. Yeah, so that okay. Rangers on the 21st. So but Senators Rangers, $92. Not bad. All in 5 tickets, section 227, $197. Almost had a disaster.
Do you need a paper towel or you good?
Drank most of it. But I don't like that it's so. But I mean, is it? I mean, it has to be like a lot of corporate fans in there, right? I mean, at those prices.
I mean,
How you getting the casual hockey fan?
No, that's the biggest problem with the Garden.
Yeah.
You know, you look down at the glass, dude. It's all guys in suits or guys who are in fucking button downs with the Rangers cap on and just bought at the fucking store, dude. And that's that's a big reason people have complaints about the Ranger fan base about going to the Garden. You even see it in the Knicks, obviously, too. You know, you go there, you see a bunch of fucking celebrities at the game. I'm not saying that, we know, like, Tracy Morgan, big fan. You see a lot of celebrities who are big basketball fans there. That's great. Totally fine. Like, but it's like, hey, who is it? Billy Joel.
Yeah.
He does not, like, I don't think he sells front row tickets to his concerts. He gives them out. So he sees real fans, like in who are singing along with his songs right in front of him, as opposed to just like some like business people with their clients,
Yeah, it's tough too because I mean, there's no perfect solution.
There isn't a perfect solution, and it sucks
because money is what runs the world, and so is greed. Honestly, I mean, if we're being real,
that's why we should own the Rangers, dude.
I mean, conceivably, that would make sense, no?
Yeah. It would kill it.
You know what was interesting before we get into picks for tonight? Did you see the odds were like half as much this time, but the Blackhawks beat the Maple Leafs yesterday 5-3, ESPN Plus national game.
Wow.
In Chicago. I'll look it up. I think it was minus 320 or something. It was 650.
Minus 335 for Toronto.
But it is unbelievable. And, Chicago, too, dealing with the Taves, illness with like the long COVID, they're saying. I don't know if he'll return to the ice. But the fact, too, Patrick Kane, the hat trick.
And an assist.
Now where are you with Kane after this? Anything? Any difference? Or is it just kind of like, if we don't have to give up the farm, I'll do it. But
again, not giving up the farm, definitely do it. I think it would be super interesting to see. Actually,
breaking news, Tony.
What?
Russell Westbrook has signed a veteran minimum deal with the Los Angeles Clippers. So Russell Westbrook joining the Clippers after agreeing to a buyout with the Utah Jazz. So that was something that was rumored. The fact that he was already living in Los Angeles, from Los Angeles originally. But I don't like the fit, honestly. I don't. Where is?
Oh, Michael does though.
Where is it?
Michael, can we hop on a mic, maybe? Let's go. He thinks
he doesn't even want to touch. Stop.
Jay, Tiger Woods situation.
Wait, what do we got for comment?
We got a comment from Indigo says
greed is one of the seven deadly sins. Indigo hitting it right on the head. But that's interesting. Maybe we'll talk a little bit more about that with Michael when we do the prison pack. But Tony, what are you anticipating though? I mean, if they say first round pick, no matter what year it is done, you don't even want to talk about it.
I don't know, dude. It's so tough because it would be interesting to see that experiment with Patrick Kane, kind of reuniting with Artemi Panarin.
Mm-hmm.
Because Kane was tight when the Blackhawks got rid of Panarin in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it would be cool to see them play together. But again, I don't want to. Yeah, I mean, maybe one first rounder, but I don't want to give up.
But even the one first rounder, is there still a little trepidation, being that this is just for the rest of the year, and who knows how the playoff goes? I mean, it could be a very small amount of games that he actually plays for the team.
I know, but honestly, like, I don't know. I feel like if they do get him, I know he's going to be a free agent, but there's no way in hell Patrick Kane isn't going to stay in New York if they do trade for him.
But I mean, at his age, though, I mean, what do you think? 2 or 3 more seasons?
What is he, 33?
I think he's 34. I'm usually good with these things, so I would almost guarantee he's 34.
Okay, dude.
Yeah, just throwing that out there.
Yeah, dude. From Buffalo, New York, by the way.
Buffalo. You think the Sabres might sign him this offseason? They could actually give us some. Just
That'd
saying,
be sick, dude. That would be like, let's go. I'll fly to Buffalo with you, Brian. I don't know. I think I don't know. It's so tough, dude. But I think I don't know.
I think you don't know. At the end of the day, you're not sure.
So tough, I'm not sure. But I think Chris Drury can work some magic. I mean, they picked up Tarasenko. I understand we still have a first round pick for next draft,
mm-hmm.
and another 4th. So I don't know, dude. We don't have that, like, the prospects, I feel like, in Hartford aren't that great.
Wait,
so
did we trade the pick we got from Niles Lundqvist to St. Louis, or did we trade our own first round pick?
I think it was our own.
In Lund, how do you say it? Niles Lund.
Lundqvist.
Okay, Lundqvist. Was that to the star? Is he on the Stars?
I think so.
Okay, so Stars pick, I mean, wouldn't be that good anyway. So I guess either way,
Yeah.
it's a late first round pick.
Yeah, it was a later. Yeah, it was our later first round pick, our later fourth round pick too. So, that was great. Honestly, I would give up like that first round pick and like one guy from Hartford.
Okay, so
And that's
anybody
it, dude.
currently on the team other than the guys that keep getting shuffled back, you wouldn't give up like
No.
like a Keandre
No.
Miller,
No,
or an Alexis Lafreniere, or a Capo Caco.
Can't do it, dude.
Yeah,
But the only thing that I'm worried about is, did you hear about the Ryan O'Reilly trade?
I saw it, but what?
So he went to Toronto.
Yep.
Huge get for Toronto. You know, he's a great center. He was on the 2019 Stanley Cup Blues team. But he went to Toronto with another young, I think, center or left winger.
Mm-hmm.
And St. Louis, I think, kept I think they're still paying like half his salary, whatever. Ryan O'Reilly's.
Yeah.
But Toronto gave up like, I think, a first rounder, a third rounder, and like 2 fourth round picks, as well as like I think some extra guys. And then I think like Minnesota got in the mix too. It was a crazy deal. It was a 3-team deal, and I think Minnesota got also one of Maple Leafs, or I think Minnesota got one guy from the Maple Leafs, like some younger prospect, and they're paying some of O'Reilly's contract to Toronto for that young prospect. It was a crazy deal. But I mean, Ryan O'Reilly, I understand, like, he had one hell of a season. I think he had like a 50-point season 2 years ago. But I mean, like, he was on I understand. I think he's like 33 or something like that, 32 maybe, 32, 31, around there.
32.
32. I don't know, dude. He's having not a great year. He didn't really have a great year last season either. I don't think so. And it's just like, I see a trade like that, and I'm worried that that's like what Chicago would now be looking for in like a Patrick Kane deal. Because again, I mean, you know, the reason why I guess he was so highly touted, O'Reilly, is because he has that cup under his belt. You know, I think he was the captain of the team at the time too. So he has that kind of veteran mentality, you know, that experience. So like, is now Chicago looking for that in Patrick Kane? Like, because if they want something like that, I mean, obviously it's a no-go, dude. There's no way you can take a chance, I think, on Patrick Kane for that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's nice that Toronto didn't really give up any of their prospects. They have a few good prospects, but they give up so much draft capital, and it's like Ryan O'Reilly also, who's going to be a free agent, which I guarantee, like, he's probably not going to want to leave Toronto either. They're a competing team.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of, he's in the last few years probably of his career.
But and not to interrupt here, but the only thing I would say to that regard, and like what you're saying with Kane, is like these guys not wanting to leave these teams, but you get the cash, man. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Look at Gaudreau with the Blue Jackets.
Right? Yeah, I guess so.
So you can't ever count on guys resigning. You just don't know. Unless you have a guy like Anthony Rizzo, you know what I mean, that you just know wants to be there.
Yeah, but that's what I'm kind of saying about like Patrick Kane. Like,
maybe
he wants to play with Panarin.
But Riley, I think, is a stretch. You don't know. You really don't know.
Riley might be a stretch, but
yeah.
I mean, again, like these two teams, like Riley with Toronto. I mean, Toronto's trying to win now. Like, I don't think any of their team is going to be like, oh, we'll give you mad money, and they're going to be also competitive. Like, I don't. Think
but also the Rangers, I don't know how they. I don't know how they clear up the cap, and hopefully the cap grows this offseason a lot more than it did this year.
Yeah,
but
that's what they're trying to do.
I mean, who? If you had to just give me somebody, I mean, who could you see as a cap casualty? In the offseason that they'll get rid of it. I mean, is the obvious thing to just say Trouba?
I mean, I guess right now it would be. But I mean, it sucks because he's been coming along quite nicely.
Freaking cap, man.
Rangers.
I'm trying to think of who else is making the big bucks.
Well, I mean, Panarin is. Zibanejad's making decent.
Kreider decent.
Trocheck is.
I mean,
Trocheck isn't really crazy amounts.
Oh, that's just the forward. We go down to like the other guys. Fox obviously is going nowhere.
Adam Fox.
I mean,
nowhere.
I think it's just like where you'd have to get rid of Lindgren, and then like it had to be a couple guys. I think.
I know, and when you think about it, a lot of these guys are going to be
Renee
like,
coming in hot.
A lot of these guys are becoming free agents too. So like Keandre Miller, you're going to want to re-sign him.
Right.
Braden Schneider, you may want to.
Nikola will be a free agent as well, right?
Nikola, yeah. I don't know if she's a free agent. Nice pick, dude. Dodgeball. You like Dodgeball, Brian? The movie?
Farrell?
No, it's Vince Vaughn.
Isn't Farrell in it? Is it?
No.
It's Ben Stiller.
Come on. That 70s show, dude. The whole season? Whole season?
Yes, 1, 2, and 3.
Whoa.
But you know why I got confused?
It's a great
because
show.
I think Ben Stiller in that movie playing whatever the guy is for Globo Gym. I don't need to know his name. But he does play Farrell-like character. I have to say that. I think that
Kurt Russell, yeah.
That defines a Farrell character. Ben Stiller.
Come on, dude.
Character in that.
Who's from Fairfield? From Fairfield?
Sky High. You remember this movie?
No.
Which guy?
Did you ever see Dodgeball? Oh, never.
Yeah.
Justin Long, Fairfield.
Oh yeah, I know
Justin Long. He's on Sky High.
No, but there's another actor from Fairfield in this.
This screen time segment brought to you by
Is it Michael Angarano?
Sports.
Yeah, Tony, what are you doing here?
Okay, fine. I mean, you can keep going, dude.
Well, go back to the cap. Go to the
sorry.
cap,
Go ahead.
bro.
Sorry. You know what, dude? You yelling at me. Like, Michael's the one coming in here with the fucking movies.
But go up to the wings again.
Let's go up to the
Forwards.
wings, dude. Panarin, staying.
Okay,
not doing anything.
Hold on. So I'm going to say, Goudreau and Lindgren. That's who you're going to have to get rid of. You know, and then, I know
that frees
you're
up, like 6.5.
You're keen on keeping Trocheck, but that's another guy that I would welcome to get rid of too, just to really open up the books a little bit here, Tony. No,
I would be interested to see like after this season. I mean, I guess you kind of have where Tarasenko goes, honestly, too.
And Tarasenko is not. They're not going to resign him. There's just not enough money. It's not that I don't want to resign him.
I know. Kudos to the Rangers for obviously making a huge push for winning the cup this year. Obviously, I mean, it looks great.
You got your true, but I don't care.
But
about
there is
the tenacity
going to be a lot of movement. Like Chris Drury's got fucking some work ahead of him, dude. He's not going to be a Colony for a while, I don't think.
Dude, I'm telling you, like, I think you have to trade Trocheck. I know it's only 1 year.
Holy shit, dude.
Because that's going to – why not trade him now when he's productive than when it's impossible to move him, and then his contract looks like Erik Karlsson's, and the problem is he's not going to be producing like Karlsson.
Yeah, but I feel like – oh, man. I mean, I guess you can – but, like, who's going to – I don't know if anyone's going to take on that full contract. You have to still pay – so you're going to pay –
6 years?
7.
Why? We knew it, though, Tony. We really didn't know that it was ridiculous. 7 years. So
I mean, that's what you said. I don't really think it's that bad.
You know it's bad. You know it's too many years,
1, 2,
Tony.
3, 4, 5.
He's 20.
6,
is
7,
he 30 yet? Did he just turn 30?
No, 29.
July. Yeah, it's too much. But whatever.
I know they are probably gonna dump him.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know about after this year. I mean, they may have to, I guess. But I mean, Jesus, dude. I mean, they're gonna have to pay some of his contract off. You know?
Yeah, you knew it. It was a little bit irresponsible.
Contract history, dude.
What are you gonna do, Tony?
I know you really can.
But that being said, on to the games tonight. And I actually did make a fresh doc, Tony, so I don't have to scroll down to page 31.
Pages, yeah.
We're starting out early today. A couple 1 o'clock games. I just want to see 3,
as well
6,
as some 4 o'clock games.
So we go 3 and 3. Rangers back in action tonight. So I guess before, it turns into you making your selection. But
right.
What do you think? The Jets on a back-to-back here just played in New Jersey last night, lost.
Right.
Rangers come in a little rested here. What are you looking for with the Rangers here at home, 7 o'clock, going against one of the best teams in the Western Conference?
Well, you know what? It's actually pretty interesting because I feel like, I think we talked about the Bruins playing the Stars last week, and it's going to be something like that. I think you're going to continue to see the drop off of level of play between the East and Western Conference leaders. Here we mentioned, the Rangers, one of the hottest teams in the league still right now in 5th, right? We said in the East. Winnipeg, the second best team in the West. You mentioned on the back-to-back, they're probably pretty tired, trying to keep up with a team like the Devils. I think the Rangers here, just like what the Bruins did against Dallas, Try to make an example out of them. Tell them, hey man, like I know you're top of the West, but the East is a different type of dog. And again, Rangers being on the rest too, I think is gonna be nice. Shesterkin fresh in net. I think after giving up 4 goals to Edmonton, he's gonna be kind of pissed off, kind of dialed in. They're back at home in the Garden. I think that the Ranger fan base is gonna be at the backs of the players. I'm actually pretty interested to see how much tickets are for tonight.
It's even worse than the Kings game.
It says right here tickets as low as 140, dude.
Yeah, 140, and then with the
for
fees, it's
nosebleeds,
220 for a single ticket. So then the group of tickets, 300 plus. Done. That's it. Up.
That's a little outrageous. They have like talk about put fucking salary caps in the game.
Yeah.
Let's put cap on ticket prices. How about that? Anyway, dude, I think you mentioned not you. I was saying Rangers make an example, quick skaters. I think it's gonna be an absolute fucking bloodbath. Give me Rangers here 4-0.
Wow.
Yeah, how about that, dude?
Confidence, Tony.
Dude. Absolutely.
7-0-1 in their last 8. So you understand that. And you speak about confidence. The Bruins hosting the Senators. I know it's not a tight dog, Tony, but I just don't think they're gonna have any trouble. And I know we just saw the Maple Leafs lose to the Blackhawks, but the Bruins are at home. The Senators are weak. And I think Pasternak will have an early President's Day hat trick. 6-2 Bruins over the Senators.
Whatever happened to President's Day, like schools closed and stuff like that?
No, I think they are.
Not me.
That's interesting.
Not Sacred Heart.
Private school? There you go, bud.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's it. Yep, Eastern would definitely be off. Guaranteed.
Kind of un-American, if you ask me, dude.
Yeah.
All right, our next game here. I mean,
it's funny that you actually but it's funny that you said that because I was thinking with screen time and stuff, and not screen time, gaming corner. I was like, I'm surprised you have to teach today. But then I was like, private endowment, Tony. There you go. I
should get paid extra for that, dude.
Yeah, time and a half.
Yeah, time and a half. Yeah, damn right. All right. Dude. The Flames against the Flyers. That looks pretty enticing. Honestly, the Islanders over the Penguins could be a nice little dog to take here. Just looking maybe at their last 5 games each. Pretty shitty on both parts here. Islanders actually have beaten the Penguins twice already this season. Yeah, I kind of like that, actually. All right. Honestly, give me the Sharks tonight, actually, at home.
Wow, jumping over me on that one.
In San Jose against Seattle. I understand the Sharks have been on a little bit of a schneid, losing 4 out of the last 5 games. Kind of tough when you really look at that. Lost to Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Golden Knights, Florida. They beat Washington, though. That's nice. Last time these two teams faced was way back in late November. The Kraken won 8-5. I think that goes to show the Sharks' goal scoring capabilities. Obviously, the Sharks give up 8 goals every night. So I think that this is a series that could kind of be pretty tight. I understand the records don't necessarily show that. But I don't know, dude. I mean, I feel like maybe we should check daily face-off first. Just to be like extra.
How about the last time these teams played on December 23rd? So I guess that was Christmas Eve. 13 goals. Kraken 185.
December 23rd?
Yeah.
November 23rd.
November 23rd. There you go.
Yeah. Again, Sharks scored 5 times. That's great. James Reimer confirmed
seems to
here.
Be the consensus starter.
Better, yeah.
Against Philip Grubauer, Tony.
I know. Philip Grubauer, who has a 900 save percentage, gives up just under 3 goals, 2.81 goals against. I think he's gonna be tested tonight. Give me San Jose, the underdog. About Carlson. Timo Meier, I think, is on day-to-day struggling with some injury.
Carlson will pick up the offense, though.
And even if Timo Meier doesn't even, he's probably going to start anyway, dude.
Yeah.
So
upper body.
Yeah, upper body, please. Easy money. Give me the Sharks here. I'll say 4-2.
So the sum of the 2 teams that I'm playing is minus 780. My first 2 picks, both 1 o'clock games. So there is the body clock situation. Guarantee one of these don't hit, but I have to do it anyway. So give me the Panthers over the Ducks.
Wow.
Panthers aren't great. The Ducks are atrocious. But I just think, chucking the fellas. Let's say call it 4-2 over the Ducks. Bobrovsky in net, playing better of recent, kind of seizing the job back from Spencer Knight. Last time these teams played back on November 6th, Panthers won 5-3. I'm going to say Tkachuk 2 goals and an assist today. Excuse me.
Tonight.
Third and final. Tony, go. Gotta go.
By the way, she's talking likely. I'm gonna go. Give me the Flames. Why not? They did well against the Rangers for sure. Flyers, obviously, kind of a shit show there. 3 games under 500. They lost 4 out of the last 5 games here. They're on the road in Calgary. I think the Flames showed a lot of heart against the Rangers. Sure. Jacob Markstrom has been having a decent season. As of late, seems like he's kind of struggling, actually, dude. 7 overtime losses, 15 and 13, 7 overtime losses. Jesus.
It's a point.
It's a point. 7 points right there. You got him. Give me Calgary here. I don't know. Dude, last time these two teams faced, it was what, 5-2? 5-2 Flames. Last time these two teams faced each other actually would be tonight for the season. Give me the Flames. Oh, 3-0.
All right.
3-0, Brian.
So this is interesting. The last matchup here, 2 struggling teams. You look at the Islanders losers 4 out of 5. Pittsburgh's lost 3 out of 5. And the Islanders have won the previous 2 matchups here. The last one being on the 17th, 5-4. So you'd think, oh, Pittsburgh, they're due to win one. But I just feel like, with the Horvath trade, Islanders really looking to kind of step it up here. So I'll take them as a nice dog. I had to get one in there, dude. Tony,
Yeah, you can't get all the favorites, dude.
So
another dog.
So I'm gonna say, give me the Islanders here, 3-2 in overtime. Brock Nelson, game winner, 30 seconds left in overtime. How do you
Throw
like
a couple shekels up there? Could be a nice payday.
How do you like that?
I do like that pick, dude. I'm a big Brock Nelson fan.
All right, and then the only other thing, Tony, before we get to our Emmy award-winning segment here, is a little college basketball update from the weekend.
Oh, wow.
We saw both UConn and Providence in action. So just to kind of give you a synopsis there, Providence all day over Villanova, 85-72, a game they led by 5 at the half. Ed Croswell, 21 points, leading the way. Ed Croswell for the Friars.
Ed Cranepool, dude.
Leading the way, 21 points, 10 rebounds, and then Bryce Hopkins, 19 and 12. So to have those 2 guys down low, Bynum had an off game, only 9 points, but he's solid at guard, as well as Locke had 16 points, and then Carter had 12. So just a well-rounded Friars team. And Villanova clearly taking a step back here, 13 and 14 on this year. Their first year, sans Jay Wright. I think that's hurting them. But with the win, Friars 1 game back here, threw a tie with Creighton and Xavier for second in the Big East, 1 game behind Marquette. So you like the direction they're heading into in a big matchup with the team we're going to talk about next, Wednesday, 6:30 at UConn. Providence at UConn. Both teams 20-7. So really important in terms of the standings. And UConn did get a win over the weekend to come to 9-7 in the Big East, but they're gonna obviously with that record, finish in the middle here. But it was nice to get that win over Seton Hall. Game that was tight early. 6-point game at half, but they pull away there late in the second half to win 64-55. So, kind of righting the ship after definitely a tough stretch here.
Oh, yeah.
Hawkins led the way with 20 points. And then Jackson also had 15 points, 10 rebounds from the guard position, which you like to see. Sanogo with an uncharacteristic 8-6 game here. But all I have to say is I can't wait for this UConn Providence game on Wednesday. Weird start time, 6:30.
At Providence?
At UConn.
You going?
Dude, I wish it was closer.
Is it like expensive to go to UConn's games or like what's the deal with that?
No, it's not.
Like $20?
Not $20, but I mean compared to the Rangers.
Well,
I would think like
over 100.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, like $40-50 probably.
It's not bad.
So that'll be a good game, but we're getting, really towards the end of this conference season. Conference play is going to be great. NCAA tournament play. We know Tony cannot wait
Hell yeah,
for
dude.
that. But I cannot wait for the Prism Pack reveal. I would start pointing, but then Tony would get tight.
Well, hey man. All right, hold on here. Let me get some double box action going on.
All right,
dude.
Here we go, Tony. So, Michael, barging in the door here. Are we getting liquid golds? What do we have here? Starting out from the University of Arizona, Josh Green. Don't believe we have this one. Second one, young and up and coming. A guy that it's like, where the hell are you? I don't believe he went to college, but was highly recruited. RJ Hampton. So will he come back from the dead? We will see. And for maybe the fourth time in the past 2 weeks, Denny Arriba.
He better be elite.
Yeah, I mean, at this point. A card I have not seen before, a player I have not seen before. From Mississippi State University, Robert Woodard. And then a guy for the second time that we've gotten, got one of his cards last week, Cassius Winston. So an unheralded group. We're excited about Josh Green. We are excited, and this is actually a good plug for later, 6:30 Gaming Corner, PGA Tour 2K23. A little birdie might have said that we might have another Prism Pack. Seems like we like to do one for Gaming Corner. And after that poll, we want to come in with something a little more hot, I would say. So definitely keep an eye out for that. Another Prism Pack reveal in the books. The collection is going. The music is pumping. And Tony is fired up.
I am pretty fired up, dude. That was a great poll. For me, anyway. I had fun.
Yeah, absolutely, Tony.
Did you have fun, dude?
Had a great time. I guess the only other thing I was going to mention is, did you see that Rex Ryan interviewing for the Denver Broncos defensive coordinator?
No.
Yep.
That's awesome,
I think that's going to happen.
You really think so?
Yeah. Sean Payton, obviously he's not messing around, and he feels, listen, Rex, head coach, maybe a little questionable, but as a defensive coordinator, he was defensive coordinator on those nasty Baltimore defenses,
right?
With Ed Reed and Ray Lewis, and had some great defenses with the Jets. Struggled in Buffalo, but I think there was a lot more going on there. If this does end up happening, I know there's been a long layoff. I think it's a great move, and I'm just kind of curious what you think, Tony.
Honestly, I think they are going to pair really well together. Peyton and Ryan. I feel like ever since Ryan left the NFL, he's been like itching to get back. Honestly, I love him. He's got a great attitude. I think he's also another kind of no nonsense guy in the terms of if the rules that Peyton's gonna be putting down, especially with trying to keep Russ in check. I mean, I just feel like Rex Ryan's gonna be totally on board with it and will help kind of enforce that, dude, and create a good championship type of winning mentality for the Denver Broncos, which is exactly what they need. And for Peyton to be surrounding himself with as many people with like-minded people as possible, I think will kind of help them be successful.
And it's funny because I think this layoff is actually good for Rex. As your mother says, good morning, fellas.
Haven't heard from my mother in a while, dude. Phone call overdue, Brian.
There you go. But I think the layoff's good because I think initially, if he had taken this job maybe a year or so after getting fired by the Bills, it would be tough for him not to be head in command. He's been a head coach for a while, but the fact that he sat out for so many years, I think it's kind of re-energized him. It made him appreciate the privilege that it is to be a coach in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
And I think with success, with the playmakers that the Broncos have on defense, I think this is going to work very well, and we will see the best of Rex. Right?
Yeah, I think you're right.
And I guess, the only other thing I was going to mention too, Eric Bieniemy officially named Commanders offensive coordinator. And this move, a lateral move, but I guess the reason being, he wasn't full-time calling plays for Kansas City. So kind of wanting to reprove himself in a different situation. And especially, if he could really re-energize this Commanders offense, which has been scuffling for years, Tony, I think that would finally give him the push that he needs to become a head coach, because people do think it is ridiculous at this point that he has not got a job. He's been interviewing for head coaching jobs since 2019. What are your thoughts on him going to Washington with Ron Rivera, uncertainty at quarterback? You do have Terry McLaurin. I mean, what do you think?
I don't know. I'm not really a huge Rivera fan, to be honest.
But maybe he thinks too, Ronnie might get fired, and then that's my hint to get
slip right in there.
Dude, if they have a terrible start next year, and let's say defense is getting torched, offense is humming, fire Rivera, Bieniemy interim head coach, going to run. I'm sure that's in the back of his mind, because these coaches, they do think of that stuff.
Wow. Well, then I would say if that does happen, smart move, honestly, by Bieniemy. But I don't know, dude. I mean, I think Washington's in kind of a tough spot. They had a very interesting season in terms of their quarterback situation, and I guess kind of having some decent runs, but obviously not really going anywhere in the end of it. I don't know. I think it's another team that's going to take a few years to really show any type of success, especially with the way I feel like their conference is going. I mean, it seems like the Giants are on the up. Obviously, the Eagles are as well. So it's not going to be like 2 years ago, where it was a bunch of shitty teams and you could still kind of, win your division, So I don't know, dude.
Yeah. I mean, I think there is talent there, and it'll be interesting to see if they pick up Chase Young's 5th-year option. But I mentioned McLaurin. I think Gibson's not bad at running back. And then Robinson, who came back from the gunshot wound. Think about that. And it's just, what are they going to do at quarterback? I don't think Heineke will be there. I would say 100% Wentz won't be there. So that would leave Sam Howell as the starting quarterback.
Who's that?
Unless they bring in a veteran. He was a 5th-round pick from the University of North Carolina. Was supposed to be higher up in the draft, had kind of a weak last season there under Mac Brown. In one game last year, 169 yards, a touchdown and a pick against Dallas. So I think he'll get a shot. Maybe they'll bring in a veteran. It's interesting. If Garoppolo's hanging out there, do they bring in him to kind of have, Howell learn from him? They did say, I know this stuff always changes, but when the season ended, that going into this coming season, that Howell would be the starter. So we'll have to see it in regards to that. So interesting stuff. Day by day, we inch closer to the draft. So that'll be really exciting. And this quarterback movement, I think Rodgers will be the first domino to fall. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. But other than that, Tony, other than Gaming Corner 630 PGA Tour 2K23, anything else?
Actually, yeah. I think yesterday we actually had a new episode of DTV Reviews drop. Mike and I unboxed the Red Ranger Power Sword from the Power Rangers Lightning Collection, dude. Pretty sweet. Go check it out. Very interesting, Brian. Never have I ever seen on a toy, like a legit toy on the box, ages 18 and up, dude. Not for kids. It was pretty interesting. Dope box, dope sword, replica-esque, dude. Go check it out. Just a few minutes of DTV reviews, and while you're at it, you can check out some of the rest of DTV reviews. We had quite a few things we unboxed so far. It's a pretty good show. I think Mike and I do a great job. I think Mike and Renee are actually in one as well. Right? Didn't you produce a review? Blue Ranger, maybe? Yeah. So great time, dude. Go check that out, as well as, like Brian said, PGA tonight, 6:30. Highly competitive, dude. How the greens will be, I don't know, man. We'll see.
And are we just going 18 holes with the three of us?
Yeah, I guess so. I'm gonna ask Jay. Maybe we can do a foursome.
Okay.
If he'll come in, but I don't know. If anything, we can just do the three of us.
But if he does come, are we gonna go Tiger Talk, or it might be a little distracting? We'll have to save that for Friday. We'll have to give Jay the warning.
Come on, let's. We should open up the Tiger Talk, dude.
No, I'm just kidding. Obviously, Jay, more than welcome if you can make it. Because then we can do best ball. But if not, we'll do individual.
Jay says I'm in right away. Wow. Snap call. He said snap call.
Any thoughts? So
he's gonna bite.
So we'll do best ball 2-on-2. But any thoughts, Tony, in terms of what course to do? I know. I'm just trying to. What would be exciting? And They only have so many official courses too.
Really? Is there a course like in Connecticut or in the New York area?
TPC Cromwell, we could play that.
Cromwell?
It's actually pretty easy.
Where is it?
Wait, what do you mean?
Like, where is it?
Cromwell.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
River Highlands?
Yeah.
Travelers. We're going this year. We're getting a tent.
Are we?
Well, if there's free food and beer, you said you'd go.
Oh, well. I mean,
so
no, I'd be so excited to go even if there wasn't free food and beer.
Yeah. So 6:30, 2-on-2, best ball. TPC,
Wow, dude.
Cromwell.
Michael is shaking in his boots right now.
Michael shaking in his boots. So we're excited about that for sure. But once again, really like to thank everybody for tuning in, continuing to comment, like, and subscribe. Checking out the archives on the YouTube page, Tony, Michael, Renee in costume, as well as the spring collection at downtimetv.com. We want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games. We'll see you on Gaming Corner, and we'll see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.